The NHL trade deadline is less than a week away, and the Devils are coming off a 4-0-0 week where they added a little bit of cushion into their playoff standings. Now 7 points ahead of a playoff spot and holding on to one there with the first wild card as they head into the final week before the deadline. They've given Devils GM Ray Shero plenty of incentive if he wanted to make a deal and make another acquisition, another push for this team to either help them get into the postseason and finally secure a spot after 5 years of being out, or if they wanted to try and make an addition to try to help them win if and when they do get there. Well, they've already made one of the biggest trades in the NHL this year, at least what will likely go down before the deadline, when they added Sami Vatanen back in November for Adam Henrique. Certainly a big early season trade that changed to kind of the trajectory of this team and what they were trying to do going forward. With the deadline coming up, I think it's tough to see Shero making any kind of deal of that magnitude, where the Devils are going to be adding that big name of a player for any kind of asking price, mainly because I think Shero won't want to give up the big asset, the big mortgage of the future, as you might say, to try and get a short-term rental or a guy they won't control beyond a year or two. That's been his MO since he got to the Devils. He wants to add players that will help them now and help them in the future, while not mortgaging too much of that future to get that help. So maybe they'll look to add a short-term rental guy who can come very cheap, maybe a guy like Thomas Vanek from Vancouver who's on an expiring contract, or something of that like, where they won't have to give up more than maybe a mid-round pick or something like that to try and make that addition. But other than that, I wouldn't look for Shero to make too big of a deal or give up that much in exchange for a player that would come in and help them in only March and potentially April and beyond.